I still remember the exact moment everything changed. The door clicked shut behind me. Not slammed. Not locked loudly. Just a soft click, but somehow that quiet sound carried the weight of a trap closing. "Aunt Sarah," I called, half laughing, half confused. She was standing in the middle of her bedroom, arms crossed, a mischievous smile stretching across her face like she had just pulled off the greatest prank of her life. And on the bed behind her, makeup brushes, dresses, shoes. Lots of them. My stomach dropped. "No," I said instantly, already backing toward the door. "Nope. I know that look." She didn't move. Instead, she tilted her head and said calmly, "Relax. I just want to try something." "Try something?" I pointed at the bed. "That looks like a full fashion show." "It's just a makeover." "For who?" She raised an eyebrow. "For you." I laughed. A loud, awkward laugh that echoed through the room. "Very funny. Let me out." But she stepped in front of the door. Not aggressively. Not forcefully. Just confidently. "You promised you'd help me with something today." "I didn't promise this." "You said you trusted me." I opened my mouth to argue, but she already grabbed my wrist gently and pulled me toward the vanity mirror. Before I could even think of another protest, she spun the chair around and pushed me down into it. The mirror reflected my confused face back at me. 22 years old. Messy hair. Hoodie. Jeans. And behind me, my aunt lifting a makeup brush like an artist preparing a canvas. "This," she said softly, "is going to be fun." "Aunt Sarah." Too late. The makeover had already started. At first, I thought it was a joke. Seriously. My aunt had always been playful, dramatic, a little chaotic in the best way. Growing up, she was the cool relative, the one who dyed her hair random colors and blasted music while cooking. But this felt different. "Close your eyes," she ordered. "No." "Yes." "No." "Fine," she sighed. "But if you blink while I'm doing eyeliner, it's your fault." "Eyeliner?" She chuckled. "You should see your face right now." I did see my face. It was right there in the mirror. Pure panic. "This is ridiculous," I muttered. "Relax." I felt the soft brush sweep across my cheek. Then another. Then a sponge tapping against my skin. "What are you even putting on me?" "Foundation." "I don't need foundation." "You also don't moisturize." "That's not the point." She stepped back for a moment and studied me like a sculptor examining clay. "HM." That sound made me nervous. "What does HM mean?" "It means you're going to need blush." "I don't want blush." Too late. The brush returned. The strange part wasn't the makeup. It was the mirror. Because slowly, the person looking back at me started changing. At first, it was subtle. My skin looked smoother. My eyes looked brighter somehow. "See," she said proudly. "Already an improvement." "I look like I'm wearing paint." "You look alive." She leaned closer again, carefully applying eyeliner. "Don't move." "I'm moving." I noticed. But then she tilted my chin slightly. "Look up." And for the first time since this started, I really looked. The eyeliner sharpened my eyes. The blush added color to my face. And somehow, I didn't look ridiculous. That realization made my stomach flip. "Okay," I said slowly. "That's weird." "What?" "It actually looks decent." She grinned. "That's because I'm amazing." But the real shock came when she grabbed the dress. It was light blue. Soft fabric. Definitely not something I'd ever imagined touching, let alone wearing. "No," I said immediately. She didn't argue. She just held it up against me. And stared. Then she nodded thoughtfully. "Yep." "Yep what?" "This is the one." "There are others." "Of course there are others." She walked toward me with the dress. I backed away. "Aunt Sarah." "Relax." "This is not relaxing." You're acting like I'm sending you into battle. This feels worse. She laughed so hard she had to sit down. But eventually, she stood up again and handed me the dress. Bathroom. Change. I'm not wearing that. She crossed her arms. 5 minutes. No. 3 minutes. No. 2 minutes. I stared at her. She stared back. And somehow, I knew I had already lost this argument. Standing in the bathroom, holding that dress, felt surreal. What was I doing? Why was I doing this? Why did part of me feel curious? This is ridiculous, I whispered to myself. Still, my fingers touched the fabric. It was soft. Way softer than anything I owned. Just try it, I muttered. Then prove it looks stupid. That logic felt safe. So I changed. And when I stepped out of the bathroom, my aunt gasped. Not jokingly. Not dramatically. A genuine, stunned gasp. Oh my God. What? I asked nervously. She walked closer. Slowly. Like she was seeing a magic trick. Turn around. No. Turn. I turned. Her smile grew wider. I knew it. Knew what? She pointed at the mirror. Look. I hesitated. But then I did. And my brain froze. Because the reflection staring back at me didn't look like a joke. The makeup. The dress. My hair, which she quickly brushed and adjusted. It all came together in a way that felt unexpectedly natural. I swallowed. That's weird. She laughed softly. Weird good. I didn't answer. Because honestly, I didn't know. The next hour turned into a blur of discovery. She adjusted my hair. Tried different lip colors. Swapped shoes. Each time stepping back to examine her work. You walk like a robot, she complained at one point. How else am I supposed to walk? Like a human. These shoes feel like traps. They're heels. Exactly. But eventually, something shifted. I started moving differently. Standing differently. Even talking differently. Not intentionally. It just happened. See, she said proudly. You're learning. Learning what? She smiled at my reflection. How to see another version of yourself. Later that evening, we sat on the couch. The makeup was still on. The dress too. And strangely, I didn't feel rushed to remove it. You okay? She asked. Yeah. You hate me. A little. She laughed. But. I looked down at my hands. Then back at the mirror across the room. I didn't expect this. Expect what? That it wouldn't feel wrong. She nodded slowly. Like she had been waiting for that answer. Sometimes, she said gently, we don't realize how many versions of ourselves exist until we try something new. I leaned back. Still processing. Still confused. Still curious. And somewhere deep inside me, a quiet thought appeared. Maybe this wasn't a trap after all. Maybe it was a door. One I never knew existed. The following weekend, something unexpected happened. I asked her to do it again. Not as a prank. Not as a dare. But as an experiment. And this time, when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see someone else. I saw another part of me. One that had always been hiding quietly. Waiting. Not to replace who I was. But to expand it. To remind me that identity isn't a single box. It's a spectrum of experiences, expressions, and courage. And sometimes, all it takes to discover that truth is one mischievous aunt. One unexpected makeover.